So I accept your point that there are a lot of compliances, regulations, and a tender that government runs. Even Karnataka government has something very similar. They call it call for proposal, wherein a startup can apply and become a part of their vendor for certain specific requirement, whichever they are catering into. This is tedious. I think there needs to be work from the government, local talent, and this talent is into every space. So Bangalore is one of the city in India, I believe, which can give you all kind of talent, be it a cybersecurity talent or a blockchain specific talent or a front end or a full stack. So on a tech side, you get all the talents, and that too available everywhere. So it's not that something that you have to die for it and you don't get it.
Great. How have you been?
Well, we are doing good. We have so I'm not sure you follow us or not, but we have been like only six company into cybersecurity in India have been part of C3. I have IIT Kanpur cybersecurity cohort, and we being the one out of the six company for this. So with this, what this is just to validate the product that we are doing. So you get a lot of chance to do your trial and errors in their environment. So we would be working very closely with their professors and the students and doing our trial and errors pertaining to cybersecurity. That's something that is we all are looking forward to. And on the business side, there have been some improvement, of course. So we get audits, we do audits. There are different clients that we talk on. It's going on good. Hmm.
That's really great.
But that's the part of our life. What else we should be doing? One side is a product, other side is business, and now everybody revolves around these two things.
That's really great. Like, I guess in our last conversation when we were confirming this, we had a chat about the same thing that you were supposed to go to Kanpur.
So we are done. So 29th, 30th, we were there.
How was the student response? Did someone approach you in terms of employment and
So this I think at the first time it was not much of a student. It was more of a professor and the government of India representatives, directors from science and technologies representative. So it is more about launching this six cohort six in this. It was more about what we are building and what kind of solution government is looking out for. Can we where can we collaborate, like can we collaborate, because cybersecurity is something that government prefers indigenously product. So in a blockchain, they have shortlisted us. So for somebody into VAPT, they have shortlisted somebody. For telecom security, they have shortlisted. So at present, government is using some services of India, like Israel and the US.
obviously, no, but it's quite important for national security as well. Like home brought up startup such as yours, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic once yeah, like it goes. So tell me something, no, like with say the elections coming up, the national elections coming up, won't that be an issue? Say if there's a change of government, which doesn't look like, but still if there is, so how does that impact this initiative of the government currently?
No, this is not a government initiative. As so, there are department under government, correct? So there is a digital India department. There is a science and development department. There are cybersecurity department, correct? And this department have mandates to build this kind of company or support or nurture this kind of company. So irrespective of whoever is coming in power, the department will follow until there is a drastic change happening and saying that. So it's not like directly you come and you take a call. It's the department who has been mandated to build into this space. So IT Kanpur has been mandated to build into cybersecurity. Now they are majorly building companies which are into cybersecurity and looking after different part of product. So we are one who is getting into blockchain. there might be someone into something. So to answer your question, I don't think that is going to be anything of our concern.
I see. And how is the whole experience like working with the government? I would want to ask you your prior expertise within that as well, or rather, experience of working with a government entity, right? And the second part of my question is say, SecureDApp is relatively new, right? It was founded in 2023. So, do you have any advice for new startups that there is this sense of intimidation, like working with the government, what, we are just green, we are just doing this right now. So yeah, what's that situation like?
So you have two part of your question. The first part talks about do we have a prior experience working with government? Not as such, like directly with the government, but of course, in Karnataka there is a body called SciSec. SciSec is a Indian School of Science cyber security wing, and we worked very closely with them. And what they did is, and or what they do is, anybody who's into cybersecurity space, they put you through the right bodies, which needs, like a law enforcement department needs something in a cybersecurity, they will put you in touch with them. It doesn't mean they will pitch for you, but they know, they'll say that okay, there is a team who is working into this space, and this is their solution, why don't you look into it. They will also put you in terms of if a government is looking out for such solution for a product driven approach, they do that. They do a mapping of companies with government departments, so every department doesn't have necessarily the same kind of requirement, correct? So they help you. So far we find it very cooperative. To answer first part of your question, second part was like we being relatively new, should we get into it, or anybody who's trying to get into it is what.
Yeah, like how to deal with the intimidation, because there's a sense of that, like even as you grow up, like the government tenders, you shouldn't do that. There's a lot of like compliances to follow up with, and like other regulatory things that come into effect. So yeah.
So I accept your point that there are a lot of compliances, regulations, and a tender that government runs. Even Karnataka government has something very similar. They call it call for proposal, wherein a startup can apply and become a part of their vendor for certain specific requirement, whichever they are catering into. This is tedious. I think there needs to be a work from the government. It cannot be as complicated as it is for an enterprise level company, because there you have a legal team, there you have a finance team, you have a different people looking after different verticals, a law team, correct? But in startup there are like 5-10 people and they are doing all the works. So it is difficult, and but it doesn't mean that they are not encouraging you. With time we expect that government should uh, make it easy for startup to get enrolled itself as a vendor into their department, whichever department they need help with. So our personal experience has been good, and wherever there is a challenge, they have some bodies to help you out. However, we cannot generalize it, there is a scope for improvement.
Now, I have a question for you based on that. Like, you come from a lot of experience, right? You have been in the industry for quite a long time, and Secured App, again, mentioning the fact that it was founded last year itself. So, how has your prior experience and even, like being in Bangalore helped you develop Secured App within the last year itself?
So I think Bangalore ecosystem is amazing when it comes to a startup, irrespective of which startup you are getting into. So my prior experience has majorly into startup and growth, and in 15 years time, I think I have worked with India's few of the best startups into marketing and growth vertical, having started, worked, all that scaled. uh, Now, once we took up the call of building a secured app, it is close to 1.5 year for now for us. So, of course, the legal entity is 1 year old, but we started working much before that. That's how you start working on your idea, and then you keep building into it. uh, the ecosystem, startup ecosystem in Bangalore has helped a lot. you need it and you have a body for that. I mean, if there is a cybersecurity product, I'll take example from MySpace. There are bodies to support you. If you are building into edtech, there are bodies to medtech. There are incubations, there are accelerators who are only incubating medtech. It means so they need after pandemic, they understand the demand of medtech companies, how they can come into picture. So this ecosystem has been very very supportive, lucrative, and I think one of the place that every startup should look after when they are thinking of starting their own journey.
I see. And that's actually helpful. Bangalore, like even us being here for a while now, it even gives you that drive, no? Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you see everyone, like, particularly if you go to places like, say, Toit or even Chai Days or, anywhere, say, any random cafe in Indranagar, you might hear someone, like, not with the intention of eavesdropping, of course, but someone or the other would be talking about, okay, there's this scene of startup funding. I was once at Nandi Hills as well, and वहाँ पे भी there were a couple of guys going ahead me. They were just discussing that, what our quarter, this is what we raised, and so it's pretty, like unique. I haven't seen something like that from where I am from, or even during my university days, right? Okay, I deviated a lot from the question. What was my next question? So, yeah, how did the idea of SecureDApp come along?
So it's almost as I said, 1.5 year back we were working on some ideas, but before that I have been into web3 space and writing a lot about for different media publications. I have wrote some articles about decentralization, web3, etc., and that's where this was intriguing. Close to 1.5 year back, I met with my co-founder Himanshu comes from IIT Kanpur, and he has got about 8 years of close to 8 years of experience into blockchain and DApp development, primarily into auditing and a very complicated smart contract part of things. So when we met almost 1.5 year back, we decided and deliberated a lot about what are the use cases and which space is coming up, and we found that there are real asset tokenization is one space in blockchain that has a demand until it is a real asset thing, not for anything into other this. We also found that beat any company into blockchain or a DApp space, they need security. And we saw that there is a gap in security. We found that more than 55% of the projects which are deployed on chain are unaudited. And that's where we draw our line that, okay, this is a space that, irrespective of which product you are building, irrespective of which industry you are building, be it a insurance tech, a med tech, or a supply chain, or a voter, if you are using blockchain as a technology or infrastructure, you need a cybersecurity. And there are not many companies who are doing it. We decided to get into this.
Mhm. No, definitely, like the need of security in the Web3 space is indeed pressing, and yeah, like it's quite important that we have like more startups such as yours, like who are coming into the picture to provide that security to people. We were just talking about the ecosystem of Bangalore and how it might have helped you. Another factor that comes in is leveraging the local talent, right? So, how have you been doing that? Like being in Bangalore.
That's a very interesting point. Local talent, and this talent is into every space. So Bangalore is one of the city in India, I believe, which can give you all kind of talent, be it a cybersecurity talent or a blockchain specific talent or a front end or a full stack. So on a tech side, you get all the talents, and that too available everywhere. So it's not that something that you have to die for it and you don't get it. So on that part we are sorted. On the other side, you see, because of the startup culture in Bangalore across all the industry, you have a lot of marketing, growth, sales, marketing automation, PR talent available. So that makes a very good mix of talents which is needed to complement a business, like complementary talent. Let's call it a tech product, on the other side business and growth. And then the support talent. uh, we have not found any difficulty so far in terms of talent crunch in Bangalore, and we love it. We put one post about we are hiring, and I can't tell you, on an average I get 1,000 people sending and DMing me directly saying that we are in, can we talk, and we have a discussion. That gives us a lot of encouragement, and we have to filter out that okay, who are the creams that we are looking out for. A, B, who can we afford? We are a startup. Who can we afford? B, C, who are here for a serious business, like for a long time. There are two, three combinations that we work out, and on the basis of that we take a call. So the system is the ecosystem of Bangalore for getting a good talent is quite supportive.
And that's good to hear, encouraging local hires instead of, looking for someone online and, the way things can be. It's quite important.
We are not against a decentralized work space also. We being a decentralized company, we encourage that, but at the same time you get it from your city, so all is good for you.
Yes, it is. No, I definitely agree with you on that. So, I was looking at one of the job profiles. I was interested in looking at, like, during the research for startup, of course. So we were looking at some of the Web3 hiring procedures and like even the market, and it's quite expensive, right? It's quite rare as well because last I saw we have courses in universities that teach you about AI. Now, there are specific courses designed for that. But Web3 is still something, just the learning most of the people I've met is quite independent. Like you do a course on your own, you learn it on your own, whether it's blockchain, smart contracts, whatever comes around that, right? So it is expensive indeed, and you need a certain level of backing, right? How did you manage that in your initial days?
So the beauty that we have is my co-founder is a techie, and he is the one who leads it from the front. Now, once you have a team wherein the leader itself knows what needs to be done, it is little easy for you to decide upon talent. So even a talent comes to us, we do not have to rely on someone else that okay, he's a good talent or a bad talent. Within one or two discussion, or maybe within a week of working with them, we are very much sure about what kind of talent he is. So there is a plus point at our end. Him being a techie, and him being coming from this space. Now, when it comes to expensive, of course, any talent into Web3 space, and especially into cybersecurity part of Web3 space, is 3x of the talent cost that you can expect for the same caliber into different space. Now, how do you afford it is something we are also learning how to afford that. We also find it difficult. Let's accept the fact, uh, but somehow we have been able to sail it, and we are quite sure that a good talent will always find a good work, and if you have a job description for a specific role, you will definitely get a good talent if you have a what do you, power to pay. Like you are in a position wherein you can pay them. You should not be in dearth of a talent. There is, if it is expensive, we are helpless.
Of course. Can you walk me through the initial steps to acquire your first funds for the operations and hiring?
So what we did is, if you ask me about particularly from a SecureDApp perspective, there are three things through which we have funded our company. A is of course a bootstrapped money from both the founders. B is a customer capital. So we have some customers, and of course to do their work we charge them. So that capital again gets into the business to pay whatever, be it ops or finance or a tech team. B and C is because of the product that we have built and displayed at a very right forum. We have also won some grants. So far the journey has been funded by three: customer capital, in founders capital, and grants.
I see. So that is a significant, display of early success, which is no small feat in itself, right? Can you share more about some of the key milestones that you guys have achieved so far?
So from the time we achieved, there is the first milestone that I believe was there when we did a MVP of our first product called Solidity Shield. Solidity Shield is an AI powered vulnerability detection application. This application can detect more than 150 plus vulnerabilities in a smart contract in less than a minute. Now, if you do the same thing manually, it will take around 2 weeks of time from your expert auditor or a blockchain developer. Now that we have been able to reduce in a less than a minute. Now when we did a final launch of this product last year in month of October, uh, I think that was first milestone. So far we have got more than 75 projects scanning their project using Solidity Shield. That is our second milestone. Third is, of course, we have won the Broadridge grant, T-Hub grant. We have also won Polkadot, this boot camp. So there are multiple milestone, but these are not something that is very big. Milestone for us uh, would be our first 100 paying customers. We are a little far from that, but that's where we are aiming.
No, but these achievements when they come in, these small milestones when they come in, they are very indicative of how the startup is shifting its gears, right? In no time, we'll be at 100, then there will be 1,000, 10,000, so on and so on. So within this, you see others as well from your rear view, right? And at the same time, from your dashboard, you can see others who are driving ahead of yourself. So, who do you see as your main competitor within this, right? And how does SecureDApp like differentiate itself from them?
So, Akshay, there are companies which is into blockchain cybersecurity. Without naming them, I'll tell you what do they do, so you will understand. There are company which are into smart contract auditing, but they do it manually. The world's best is doing it manually. So this is where we differentiate. We have taken a product based approach. I am not relying on a developer or a auditor or a blockchain this what developer to audit somebody's project. I rely on my project. I have a IP. So that's where we differentiate. Second, there are products into Web3, very companies who are trying to work out a real-time threat intelligence and modeling product, which is our second product, which we aim. We believe that in a month's time that should also be up and running. So with that product, what is happening at real time with your project within your transactions, you will be able to know that, and it will not only help you monitor it, it will also help you in mitigating the problems. So then and there, you take a call that is it a right thing? Is it a right transaction? Is it a right? Somebody's trying to get into my codes. Should I allow? I should not allow. Whatever. So it will tell you in a dashboard. So that's also one of the product-based approach into security. Very soon, we will also be coming with a third product, which is into forensic. So once a scam has already happened, now you go to a police and you file an FIR. What do? They rely on Israeli and US companies at this point of time. Now they need some software to trace the destination wallet, which has been ultimate beneficiary of the scam, or the nodes that it has gone through, or the path that it has followed during the scam. We would be building into that space. So we are differentiating ourselves on the basis of product. We rely very less on manual audit. However, we are not against it. There are complex logics which needs manual intervention. We are also doing that.
So, apart from crypto, are you also, in a sense, protecting people from scams faced in purchasing and selling of NFTs?
So so NFT is also, if you understand it in technicalities, it is also a crypto. So why not? So we, but somebody to understand how do we help at project level. So we do not allow you to get into that project to do any scam, not at the consumer level. So suppose Akshat is interacting with a company A, which is into NFT of travel NFT. Okay. Now Akshat doesn't know how nicely this NFT and the smart contract of this NFT in the backend has been coded. You are interacting with the project on the front end as a user. Now we protect it from the back end. Hence, ultimately, you will be the ultimate beneficiary. We do not operate in a space wherein I directly come and help Akshat. So we are not a B2C company.
I see. Got it. So, since you're not B2C, right, there are other external factors affecting that, right? B2C may it's still based on the customer trends, the market trends, but rather when you are like away from that, the global economy and say even the market's volatility, like affects your whole initiative. So, how have you been, planning to navigate that, especially when the crypto market has been down for the last couple of years?
So if you can repeat your question or make it crisp, I would be in better position to answer that.
Yeah. So what I mean was ki, there are so many external factors, right? When you're operating away from B2C. B2C may, as we all know, it can be dependent on the customer's mood, like your competitors and everything. But when we are away from that, majority external factors include the situation around the global economy and even the market you're operating it. Like, is it stable? Is it going down? Is it going up? So, how does SecureDApp plan to navigate these conditions?
I think the approach that we have taken is very global. We from the start itself we have decided that we are a B2B company. Hence, the marketing spends that goes into acquiring a B2C customer is already sorted. We whatever effort goes, it goes into that. The ticket size that you get from a B2B as against a B2C is much more, though it has a longer sales cycle, but it is much more, so you are again sorted. See, the brand that you are building into B2B space is very different from what you are building into B2C or D2C space. Here the brand is mostly driven by your account based marketing. The brand and the effort is driven by your strategic partnership or expose or exhibitions that you are getting into, rather than your paid ad or a performance ad or social media boost or anything of that sort. Which so the efforts that we take is very targeted. Now coming back to a very important part of your question, which is about a global economy. When we have decided to build into this space, we the product is very decentralized in nature, and this allows anybody from anywhere to transact with our product. Now, I'm not dependent that Akshat from sitting in Bangalore or in India should be interacting with my project. My project allows somebody sitting into Africa or Dubai or US to come do the scan. And since we are a SaaS based model, pay then and there. Do not rely on me. Do not be dependent on me for a communication or a discussion. Then and there, you download your report and move on.
Mhm.
So by making it easy for your customer, you allow others to interact with your product. This is how we are tackling it, and we believe we are sorted in that space.
That's amazing. Like, economic resilience is really crucial during this part of your business as well. I want to know how have you been like scouting, or rather, how have you seen the evolution in the user base, and how are you noting down the customer feedback?
So the first thing is in terms of scouting, I'll answer. We have taken a approach of being a partner into very Web3 hackathons. There are multiple hackathons happens, and we work as a security partner. So what happens is, at a primary stage only, we let the developer know that there is something into security and we should scan our project. So that is our first approach. Second is we also get into a lot of blockchain specific expos and exhibitions wherein we talk about our product and then display our product in whatever capacity that we can do across cities at this point of time. That is again a way of scouting. And third is, as I said, account based marketing is what we work on. And these are three primary channel for us. Rest all are just complementary channels. Now coming back to second part of your question, which is about uh, what was that, if you don't mind?
How do you secure, like, how do you manage your partner feedback?
So there are two ways. The first thing is we have our internal NPS system, which gives us a validation on post servicing. We send them a mail asking them how do you rate our service and what are this, and that gives us a fair understanding of what are their challenges and how do they rate our service, and on the basis of that we take our call. We also reach out to them in person for a of course a small companies always goes to for a testimonial, and that's where we come to know that what was their real challenge. They open up. It's not for something that we post. So far we have not posted any testimonial. It's something for our understanding that okay, how do they feel after that. So far all the project that we have done, none of the project have been scammed, and that is one of the validation of how nicely or how accurately we have protected those projects.
That's really great. So, from what I hear, you have like a good good dynamic growth in your user base, and you're getting strong feedback, which makes me want to ask you, like, how does SecureDApp maintain its edge in smart contract audit market based on that?
So the audit market is one part of that, and that's where you have to keep building your product from. So there is a product which does a static analysis. There are product which does a dynamic analysis. There are product which does your compiler update, and there are some product which does your visibility checking. What we keep doing is we try to train our AI model called Solidity Shield with all that. So as long as we keep training it, I believe we will be able to maintain that. On the second side, when our product is not able to identify some vulnerabilities or a bug in your code, at least it red flags it to us internally saying that this is suspicious. I've not been able to identify, and we understand that manually and train it. So this is a process wherein it learns on its own, but if it doesn't, then we train it after learning that module and that bugs, because every day there is a new vulnerability or a scam coming, and there is a different approach of getting you into your contract comes from scammers. So we have to keep training our product.
I see. No, staying ahead does require constant innovation, and this is like a common theme from what I've been learning from hosting our esteemed guests so far. Looking towards the future, are there any new products or servicing that we are expecting from SecureDApp?
Yes, of course. So our second product is called Secure Watch, which is an AI powered vulnerability detection application. This is going to be the product for us, because once your project is deployed, once it is on runtime, you need to know what is happening with your project, what kind of transaction is happening. If X is the average amount of transaction that happens, why is 10x all of a sudden started coming? How should I keep a track on it? So all that will be taken care through Secure Watch, and that's where you can see the future of security moving forward. So pre-deployment auditing to a runtime, and post that, of course, there is something called a forensic. If at all something has happened, you need a forensic product to trace the loopholes and to trace the destination wallet. We are coming into that space. We would always be a product driven company, and you never know what else can come in future.
So another thing that I came across while like reading upon Secured App was there had been an introduction of SaaS pricing model for smart contract audits, right? Which honestly seems like a game changer from whatever understanding I have for Web3. How do you anticipate this impacting Secured App market research?
This is where we struggled. In fact, when you talk to me about SaaS pricing model, 6 months it took us for to work out with the payment gateway aggregators, because everybody feels that you are a crypto company and you do not deserve a payment gateway for any SaaS price based model. We had our lawyers. We had a discussion with a few of the major payment gateways, and somehow we have been able to make them understand that irrespective of what you are do, you need a payment gateway, and this payment gateway is not primarily for a. We are not against a crypto payment, by the way, let me tell you, but all I'm saying is if there is a SaaS model across the world can choose a plan. Now, how do we do that? We have three plans. First is a freemium. I want you to come and scan your project. Don't pay me. Just at least one scan you can get to know what are the problems. Go and fix it before you deploy it. The second product comes called Prime. You come and choose a plan which suits your project and then go for a scanning. Then Premium. And of course, the enterprise level wherein we customize the pricing for you, understand your requirement, and take a hybrid approach of auditing. SaaS is the future. Do not make or do not let your customers be dependent on you if you want to scale at speed.
No, I agree. SaaS is definitely the future. Even like more and more startups, and even in India, they're coming to the realization that they need to have such kind of dynamic models to cater to the Indian audience. And not just that, everyone aspires to grow out in the world, and they would want those pricing to be dynamic according to the geolocation, of course. What I want to go back to within this is we were talking about lawyers, right? Where you need to have people who are supporting, or rather, you are eligible enough to make such decisions. Okay, I need to fight it out like this. I need to make this decision on this particular instance that can be game changing for my startup. So that you can do because you guys, both you and Himanshu, you are experienced like anything. You are giants in your fields, right? How do we expect a entrepreneur who's maybe a recent graduate, who is just starting the startup maybe after 1 year or 2 year in a job, and they feel, okay, I have an idea, I can do this. What will you suggest them to do in such scenarios?
Akshat, what you are saying, they are recent graduate or even 1 or 2 years in their journey. Let me tell you, I come across entrepreneurs who are still doing their graduations and they are doing very well. So do not underestimate their talent and their understanding of what product is coming. We never do that. Where I have seen that there is some lack is in terms of business sense. So they are very good with coding, they are very good with product, and they can come and deliver product, but they feel everything is a product and everything can bring money. However, if you ask them to bring money through one product, they struggle. So I think if you ask me to advise them, I'll definitely say them that do not see your business as a code or a product. See it as a complete business wherein it runs. A product has to have a marketing element, a sales element, a growth element, and a legal element. You will see that all the young entrepreneurs, they do not have a um, business setup entity also done in a right way in terms of compliance. That is also that's also a point wherein they lack. I believe if they can do that, and for that they should never think like they are the one man. They have to build a team of people coming from a different departments can help them beat any spaces that you are trying to build in.
I really hope this advice reach the right ears and people can take a note of it. I would like to go back to again what we were talking about. You mentioned there's a freemium model, there's a prime model, there's a premium model, and there's the enterprise model, of course, right? This is like the standard model people come across. Yet zero fee cross chain platforms such as yours are very rare. So how do you foresee SecureDApp reshaping the landscape for token, NFT, and even DAO services in the near future?
So we also have one product, but this is something that solves a different use case. That is called Secure Pad, which is into world's first zero fee asset tokenization platform. Now, right now, if Akshat wants to tokenize its house or a flat or a car, he has to be dependent on a lot of Web3 companies and talk to them. They will code their smart contract and then they deploy it. This is not something the future is. The future is Akshat should come. He needs a platform which is no code first, a zero fee, so that until I have not made money out of it, why should I pay? Correct? So that's where the world is moving, and we have been able to build a product there. However, our primary product is cybersecurity, and we keep doing that. This is done for few of our clients who are getting into that business. That's the future, by the way.
I hear you, and these challenges can be really daunting at times. For startups. Apart from sales and marketing, I also feel like technology poses a significant issue. Right, you develop your product in the beginning, you take your few years, but then when you go to the business and sales part, like you are moving, R&D within the tech also poses a challenge. So, what is the team situation like? I know you and Himanshu. Oh my God. Can we cut and redo this? I'll take a pause. You and Himanshu have been spearheading the R&D part like really well. What else have you been doing to, coming up with cutting edge solutions as the world also moves forward along with you?
Yeah, so R&D plays a very important role, and since we being a product driven company, for us it is our top priority. We have our team of about 2 3 people who keeps working on a, we call it product and R&D, because once they do an R&D, I don't have a very big tip to develop or ideate a product on top of that. So they only do that, and they come up every day, they come up with a new product or a new idea that can pop up in future pertaining to cybersecurity. So a significant part of our effort, our money goes into R&D, because we believe if we are strong into R&D, we can take this space to become a thought leader into Web3 cybersecurity. For us, it's primary, uh, and it's not Himanshu and me who does that. It's a team of about 4 people who are doing a cybersecurity. It does have interns also in that, but they are doing a research about what is coming up, and we know a lot many use cases which today I should not be talking about, because those use cases in cybersecurity we would be we would prefer to build in.
I respect that. So, based on the given, projected market growth and crypto going stable again, what strategic moves is SecureDApp planning to enhance its services and especially the global reach, right?
So we have worked out our global GTM, and there are a global distribution partner that we are talking to. So far, the approach has been India, though all our clients are from the global clients, but paying clients. I mean, what we are doing is we are working on our distribution channel. Now, this distribution channel are primarily wherein I'm not going to go and say that why don't you buy my product and this is why I'm good at. They should, if you are coming and using their network or their chain, they should ask you that why don't you go and get it audited by SecureDApp and come back to me. So we have worked out our distribution channel, and these are catering to top 5 zones that we have categorized it. One is of course Africa, one is US driven market, Europe, and Middle East, and then Singapore and China kind of thing. So there are 5 zones that we have divided. In each of these zones, we have a distribution partner, and they should be leading it. Of course, we will work on a revenue sharing model with them, but that's the key. Apart from that, we also have some strategic partnership wherein those partnership or investment will work out, not limited to the monies, but limited to the clients that they bring on board, or the forum that they put us. So there are different ways of global GTM we have worked out. Hope it works out for us.
I really wish that too. So based on this clearly implies that you have a set course of action, right? As anyone should. What is your long-term vision for SecureDApp in the coming, say, 10 years? And based on that, I have a second parter to end this podcast. Say you, as an emerging startup, will always be the competitor to the other startups that might come into the picture, right? What do you have as an advice to give to your future competitors?
Okay, so to answer your first part, our long-term vision as a company is become a leader into Web3 cybersecurity space. We are very clear one-liner, like Web3 cybersecurity space is something that we should be dominating over a period of 5 to 10 years time. Now, to advise so-called competition or something. We do not see anybody as a competition. We see, in fact, we see them as a collaborator with us. If you are not using my product, it means you are building something into my space. I see that is the only reason that you do not use or want to use my product, or else there is no other reason. Now if you are building into my space, you can learn from us, or we can learn from you. We can work out some collaboration or some market collaboration, wherein I cater to one market, you cater to one market. So it's the way you look at them. uh, it's not necessarily that they are competition. If at all they are, it's okay. It is good to have competition sometime.
Mhm. No, that's a very genuine advice from you, and quite insightful as well, that many can learn from, Abhishek. It's been enlightening hearing about SecureDApp's journey, challenges, and the future plans. Thank you for sharing your valuable experiences and insights with us today. And I really hope we can have another episode next season, and we can discuss more about Secured App and what we are going to be doing. So, thank you so much for coming here and gracing us with your presence. It was really great to have you.
Thank you, Akshat, and thank you for having me. Looking forward to this, and of course, why not? Next season is always on. With that, I would like to conclude with one liner for everybody into Web3 space, that never be under assumption that what you are building is safe for a longer time. You are safe as long as a hacker is not taking you seriously. Never be under assumption that you have coded well. So ensure that you take a prior security measures. Thank you, everyone.
You will be heeding your advice. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Have a nice day.
Pleased to talk to you. Thank you.